Hello, and welcome to the Love Your Work Life podcast. I'm your host, Elissa Shuck. Whether you're going for that next promotion, looking for a job, or making a career pivot, I'll teach you how to navigate it all so you can have the career you want. This is Love Your Work Life, episode 76. Too many times we go into interviews, conversations, interactions, devaluing ourselves. And when you go into an interview, it's kind of weird but natural to somehow think you are subservient in that situation, that they're above you. Even recruiter interviews, right? Somehow this person has power and you have to bow to that power. You have to be aware of that power. But if you take that posture in your mind going into the interview, then you're missing out on an opportunity to showcase your value in a unique way, to come into it like you already have the job, which is exactly the way I want you to go into interviews, acting like it's already yours. It's such a powerful mindset to have. But when you're always thinking the other person has the power, the authority, and all of that, then the dynamic changes. And of course, I'm not suggesting that you be disrespectful or anything like that. You might be interviewing with a CEO or your future boss. But if you were already working in the company, if you already had the job, what would your mindset be? What would your behavior look like? And especially going into an interview thinking the other person has all the power, you're missing opportunities to ask questions that help you evaluate the role for yourself. They're evaluating you. 100%. It's happening. And you're preparing for that, right? Your resume has gotten you in the door. You're ready to talk about all the awesome things that you've done and results you've created. But if you go in handing off the power to them and leaving all the question asking to them, then you're missing out on the possibility of evaluating the role for yourself, of checking their fit to you as much as they are checking your fit to them. So I want to give you some specific questions you can ask in an interview that will help you evaluate the company's fit to you. The company, the team, the hiring manager. And you're going to start out with these questions right out of the gate, right in the screening interview. Because just like the recruiter is ticking a bunch of boxes to see if they want to advance you in the interview process, you should be ticking your own boxes to see if you want to move through the interview process and even get more information. So if you do want to move ahead and get into those next rounds, you're creating a foundation for even more questions to ask. When you ask these, what I call fit check questions, these are your way to evaluate the role and the company. Because let's face it, whether the interview process is 3 total hours or 12 total hours, that's not a lot of time. That's why I want you to take charge. That's why I want you to step up and see these folks at an equal level, two human beings talking, not the hierarchy in the company, talking about two human beings, your obligation to yourself to learn as much as you can. So let's start with salary. Now, this always is a toughie for people. And this is why so many people are talking about why aren't the salaries posted along with the job description? And that would be nice. Some companies are doing it, but I never want that salary to dictate your value. And that's why I don't want you to worry too much about it, especially being prepared to go into an interview and being very proactive about asking this question yourself. What is your compensation budget for this role? This eliminates any problem with the salary not being posted. And there's a good chance that you're going to get asked this question, and there's a way to answer it for sure. But I don't want you necessarily to wait for the other person to ask and you feel on the spot. You go right into it asking what the budget is and take control of that conversation, guide that narrative. And if you find out that the salary isn't in your range, maybe it's way far off, what great information to have so that you can gracefully bow out of the rest of the interview conversation, right? You can just say, nope, I'm sorry, that is really not in alignment with the value that I bring to the table. So I'm going to respectfully remove myself from consideration and thank you anyway for your time. How easy is that? So easy. Before I move on to the next question, I do want to address the issue of the answer that you get to this question. If the salary is reasonably close to what you want, then you can say, thank you so much for sharing. That budget is in my range. If it's really great and it's a nice raise for yourself, the answer is the same. Thank you so much for sharing. That compensation is in my range. I like you to leave it open-ended because you may find something out during the next rounds of interviews that adjust your thinking about the salary, okay? You may realize, wow, this is going to be a lot more work. This is going to require more contribution and more of my value, and therefore you're going to negotiate for a higher salary. Always keep that in mind. You can do that. And by sticking to a range or even letting them know that the salary is negotiable for you, then you're leaving the door open. But again, don't be afraid to ask the question and take charge of it right from the get-go. All right, let's look at another one. This one will tell you more about opportunity inside the company. You don't have to jump right in and say, are there opportunities for growth? I don't necessarily always recommend that because what if there aren't? And the reason I say that is you have got other people with little narratives going on in their head, and they might be thinking, wow, we never have any opportunities for growth. And your direct question may distract them or get them thinking that if they don't have opportunities that you wouldn't be interested in the job. That's not necessarily true, right? That's their story, maybe not your story. So a better question to ask to uncover where you will fit and where you can go is, tell me more about the job title, what it means, and the reporting structure. This will give you a better picture of the hierarchy in the company and possible paths for you without saying that it's a must-have. It might be a must-have to you, and that's totally fine if you want to be direct and you love your reasons for speaking about it in that way. But this way is a little more subtle and will likely uncover more information that you can leverage later on. All right, let's do another one. This one is about longevity. And this is to find out more about the company, their staffing changes. Are they doing layoffs? These are all questions that are top of mind for people, especially if you are looking for stability inside of a company. Maybe you're joining a startup, or maybe you're joining a company that's been around a long time. It's a good question no matter what. And it's this: how long has the team been active in the company? You're going to find out if it's a long-term thing. You're going to find out if the team is new. Bonus, ask about the team size. How big is the team? Is the team growing? Have you had to make any staff reductions lately, and why? This is your opportunity to find out what's going on and if that's something that works for you. I've had clients who are interviewing for jobs that are so brand new, there's not even a job description available. Wouldn't it be cool to ask this question so that you can get more context about the team, about the role, and its fit in the company to decide if that's something you want to continue to pursue? I have another one for you. How does this role or team impact the company direction and results? I love this question because when you ask it, you're getting an idea of how seriously leadership takes the role and team in the big picture. If they don't have a good answer for you about how this role fits with where the company is going, or how that team fits with where the company is going, it gives you a really good sense of company priorities. Do you want to be a mover and a shaker? Do you want to be influencing company direction and strategies? Then you want to know whether that team gives you, or that role gives you, those kinds of opportunities. A super important question to ask. Anytime you create a list of questions that you ask during an interview, do your best to pick your spots to ask your questions. Do your best to make it a natural part of the conversation. But if it doesn't work out that way and your questions aren't answered naturally based on the things they ask you or the information they share, then for sure have your list of questions at the end. Almost every interview gives you those opportunities. Do you have any questions for us? It's not annoying or offensive for you to ask questions. It actually makes you look really smart. It actually shows that you care. Most people are going to be really appreciative of those kinds of questions. They just will. When you ask in a way that shows your curiosity, when you ask in a way that is inquiring and sincere, then there's no way they're going to take it wrong. Worst case, it's going to be neutral, but best case, it's going to be seen as value add. That you really care about the kind of team that you're contributing to. You really care about the kind of company that you're joining. These questions can only help. They will not hurt. So I want you to have your list of questions ready to go. Go with these I've shared. Springboard off of these, come up with even more questions. And so you have it. I'm also going to share a link with you in the show notes so that you can get access to a list of questions that I call market yourself questions. These are amazing questions to ask so that when you get your answer, which is great for your own information, you also have the opportunity to share more of your relevant experience. They're awesome. They work. And they will definitely help guide the conversation, create a natural give and take, and especially flip the script on this they have all the power mindset that you might be walking in with. They don't have all the power. You are the guide. You are the one with the solution to their problems. So see yourself that way. Get more information and share more of your value from screening all the way through to the offer. I'll talk to you next time, everybody. If you like listening to this podcast, then you are going to love my program, Job Search Field Guide. This is a unique opportunity. I offer group coaching alongside a 5-step process to help you land a job quickly. So I hope you will join me in Job Search Field Guide. This is going to be revolutionary to your career journey and your job search, and you get lifetime access. So find it at elissashuck-careercoach.com, and I will see you there.